Yellowstone warning as supervolcano could be gearing up to explode. One volcanologist who has spent time studying the supervolcano in Wyoming said the devastation its eruption would cause would be, of course, a complete and incomprehensible catastrophe. Modern humans have never experienced the wrath of a supervolcanic eruption, and if they had, humanity's survival might not have been guaranteed. We've had about 26,500 years ago the last supervolcanic eruption from the North Island of New Zealand, and that was an almost extinction level event. Anthropologists believe that only about 1,000 couples worldwide of humans, of Homo sapiens, survived. Now, these catastrophic cataclysmic events, which dwarf typical volcanic eruptions, have the potential to alter the course of the planet, reshape ecosystems, and cause widespread devastation. Unlike regular volcanoes, supervolcanoes unleash eruptions that register at magnitude 8 on the Volcano Explosivity Index, VEI, releasing over 1,000 cubic kilometers or 240 cubic miles of volcanic material in a single event. All those mountains of ash that we have around, for example, Yellowstone, or even the Santorini that's had 6,500 quakes in the past 9 days. That was a VEI 7 in Santorini, VEI 8 in the super eruption of Yellowstone. Now, for context, the infamous eruption of Krakatoa, Indonesia in 1883, which caused a devastation tsunami, pales compared to what the supervolcano could unleash. While Krakatoa remains one of history's most catastrophic eruptions, it does not qualify as a supervolcano. Instead, scientists have long monitored volcanic giants like Yellowstone, which is, of course, in the U.S. state of Wyoming, and they're concerned about it. Volcanic activity at Yellowstone began approximately 2 million years ago. It produced 3 massive eruptions throughout its geologic history, and these occurred 2.1 million years ago, 1.3 million years ago, and the last super eruption was about 630,000 years ago. And they were unlike anything modern science has observed, ejecting enough ash and debris to bury entire regions and influencing global climates for decades. We've had about 70 eruptions since then, which were smaller, of course. Now, the most recent eruption, 630,000 years ago, was estimated to be 1,000 times more powerful than Mount St. Helens of 1980 eruption, which cost over $1 billion in damage. Yellowstone's explosive potential is rooted in its massive magma reservoir. It lies beneath the surface of Yellowstone. It's about 3 miles down. It's in Yellowstone National Park, the region famous for its geysers, hot springs, and stunning landscapes. Yellowstone Supervolcano has about 60% of the world's geysers and 10,000 hydrothermal areas. According to the United States Geological Survey, USGS, Yellowstone has been relatively stable for the past 140 years, but experts continue to study its behavior, knowing the potential consequences if it does awaken. If Yellowstone were to erupt tomorrow, the consequences would be devastating. The Smithsonian Channel short documentary, What If Yellowstone Volcano Erupted Tomorrow?, explores this hypothetical scenario, and it paints a grim picture of what would happen after that. Talking about the widely unpredictable situation, the narrator notes, right now in the U.S., one of the world's largest volcanoes is gearing up to explode. If Yellowstone decided to erupt, the results would be devastating. Yellowstone is about one of the 22 supervolcanoes of the Earth. They're always finding new ones anyway. For example, they believe that Antarctica has something of a scale bigger than Yellowstone, and Antarctica has over 140 volcanoes. Now, it has erupted 3 times, Yellowstone, in the past 3 million years, which led some people to wonder whether we should be worried about another eruption in the near future, a super eruption. But if the eruption took place tomorrow and you lived in North America, there would be virtually nothing you could do to prepare for this. Dr. Robert Smith, a renowned geophysicist and expert on supervolcanoes, describes the potential devastation as being complete and incomprehensible. It's not like smaller volcanic eruptions that primarily produce lava flows. A Yellowstone eruption would eject most of its magma as ash, and it would create colossal plumes that would blanket much of North America and, of course, spread throughout the whole globe. And within a 1,000 kilometer, 621-mile radius, tens of millions of people would perish from suffocation, as inhaling volcanic ash forms a cement-like substance in the lungs. Structures would not fare much better because just 30 centimeters or 12 inches of ash is heavy enough to collapse most roofs. And farther away, even regions thousands of kilometers from the eruption would face dire consequences. 1 centimeter of ash could contaminate water supplies. It would destroy crops. It would cripple infrastructure. Global temperatures could drop by as much as 10 degrees Celsius, and that would trigger a volcanic winter. That could last up to a decade. Such a climate shift would, of course, devastate agriculture and create food shortages, leading to widespread famine and migration. Fortunately, the odds of a supervolcanic eruption occurring in our lifetimes are exceedingly low. USGS believes that Yellowstone's current activity, including minor earthquakes and geothermal features, is consistent with its behavior over the past 140 years. The agency says odds are very high that Yellowstone will remain eruption-free for centuries to come. But this has not stopped scientists from studying, of course, the potential risks. Professor Christopher Kilburn, volcanologist, University College London, in the past warned that many of the world's supervolcanoes are not being adequately monitored. He highlighted the potential for immense agricultural disruption in the central United States. The wheat belt and other agricultural producing areas would just be wiped out, he said. It would result in an unimaginable migration and geopolitical challenges. Supervolcano eruptions are rare. The last known event occurred about 26,500 years ago in New Zealand, but their impact on the planet is, of course, undeniable. Beyond immediate destruction, supervolcanoes trigger long-term environmental challenges, influencing everything from atmospheric composition to, of course, the temperature of the oceans. Volcanologists and geologists are trying to understand most volcanoes as well as they can in order to prepare for any eruptions. And this is by Joel Day on Express UK. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.